guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna, and for those of you who are new here, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Here on my channel, I do planner and planner related videos, DIY tutorials, budget videos, and the occasional new release video of items that I've listed to my Etsy shop. And if that is of interest to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you hit that little notification bell, you'll always be notified of when I do load a new video. And if you could also comment, like, and share, that does help grow my channel, and that would be amazing. So we are in the Happy Planner half sheet happy notes that Val from Nate's Mom Plans had sent to me, and this is where I keep my layout ideas. And these are layouts that I create simply for the fun of creating them, but also it does help me, inspire me to see the different ways that I can use some of my products. Now, I did get a question in the last video that I did in this, and the way that I'm going to be storing my half sheet happy notes, so for the layout ideas, it's just going to stay in here. But for now, from my Happynichi, I'm actually going to be storing that in here as well, because I do want to keep these things. But eventually, I know I'm going to have to create a new one just to hold this. But for now, it fits on here, so that's where I'm storing it. But for today's video, what I'm going to do is show you 3 different layouts using lined paper. I got so much feedback from this last video that the layouts were good. That was, definitely feedback that I received, but that people appreciated the fact that it wasn't done on a dot grid paper. And, more and more that I think about it, and I mentioned it in that video, most of the Happynichi videos that I see are done on dot grid. That is my preference, and that's what my Happynichi has. But if you have this particular Happy Notes, it comes with the lined paper. Or if you prefer lined paper, then I'm hoping that this series of layout videos, and I plan to do more, will be helpful for you to figure out how to use your product. So we are going to be doing 3 different layouts. And just as a side note before we get started, I did a poll on these 3 because this is the first video that I did with the lined paper, and I have to say that the overwhelming feedback was this one right here. Now, I don't know what the feedback was on the poll because I don't know how to check it. I know how to make one, but it doesn't show me where I can actually look on what people answered. So this the overwhelming response was actually from people putting things in the description box. I know, hilarious. But yeah, I was just like, wait, where do I put it up? Where do I get the data? But oh well. So this is the one that won, and this is my favorite. I do like these cameo stickers, but I wanted to let you guys know that, because I will be asking, which of these 3 layouts that you enjoy the most, but I won't do a poll because, again, I don't know how to get the answers that you guys leave. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. So let me take that out, and I'll put this to the side. Now the first one is going to be very colorful, super colorful. But the whole point of this for me is more that I want to take advantage of the lines. The reason why I prefer dot grid is because there are no lines. There's just those dots, and they kind of just fade into the background. These lines are pronounced. So how do you work with this and still get that, bullet journal Happynichi effect? So I'll walk you through the beginning of this, and then I'll go fast forward, and then I'll bring you back for the next section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these 3 mild liners, and I'm going to try to be as even as I can. And this is, I can wipe that off, so I don't care that I wrote on my pad thing, but I just want to get some color going, and I'm going to use the spacing of the lines to do that. So every 2 lines, I'm going to add another swatch of pink. I'm not going to use a ruler, you certainly can, but the way that this effect is going to look, I don't think that's necessary. So I would continue down the rest of the page, and I will do that, but let me show the next thing I'm going to do. And then I would take my next color, and I would, again, just make some lines across and continue to do that. And let me finish the rest of these 2 pages in these 2 colors, and then I'm actually going to switch this gray out for something else. So let me finish this up and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, so I finished the striping, and that in of itself I think looks good. And I also put it at the top here because I want to sort of make it fade away, that there is that bigger gap up here like a normal note paper would be. So if I start at the top, that just sort of goes away, and then it just makes it look like a striped paper. However, my third color is because I'm going to make this into a plaid. And again, this one you may want to use a ruler, but you know that's not what we're about on this channel. And so I'm just going to sort of evenly space this all the way to the top. And I think the great thing about this is you could use more colors. You could customize this for the season. I think this would look great in a fall spread. I think it looked great in a Christmas spread, a spring spread, depending on the colors that you put on it. This one is definitely giving me more spring vibes. You could do more of a checkerboard where you're only using 2 colors, and I think that would look really dynamic. But really the whole point of this layout is to take advantage of those lines because they are more prominent than a dot grid. But if you prefer the lines, or if you're just looking for something more creative with your lines, or if this is the half sheet happy notes that you have, then you are not constrained by the lines. So let me put that there. Now you're probably wondering, Johanna, this isn't a coloring book, this is a planner. And you're right. So I'm going to bust out colorful boxes, and we are going to make ourselves some functional space. And I don't typically use a lot of silver, so let's use some of these. Now silver doesn't actually necessarily go. just noticed that. So let's look at black. So we are going to use this big one here, because again, we're not going to use the lines on the page for writing. They're just really to help with our decorative aspect. But we are going to use some boxes. I don't have, okay, I have enough of these. No. Sorry, I mean, even though I'm not going to be using this layout, or at least I don't think so, I might, especially if I'm in a time crunch. So I still want this to be functional. So I'm just going to put some boxes down. And you could use your colorful boxes like this. You could use pretty much any boxes that you have. I mean, really, you just want to make it functional. Now, I suppose you could map out all of your boxes and draw them, and then do all of your coloring. But for me, doing all the coloring first just made it go a lot faster. So that's what I opted to do. But again, it does give you some, I mean, I think that looks really pretty. Even though we're covering a lot of it up, I think it looks fantastic. So it doesn't all have to be the same, because really I just need 7 boxes. That's 5. And 6. And 7. And even though I could have gone for like a green box or a pink box, I think this ties in really nicely with that black border. And then for this here, I have some of these, and I have this. Actually, we can use both of those. So put this at the top there. Put this at the top there. Again, we're covering up our color, but there's just enough peeking through that you definitely get the design. And you could put some of these boxes because again, if you have a black pen, you can certainly write over this. And I think you have a very decorative, very easy, free form, yet functional spread where you can write some notes here, you can write some lists there. Actually, that needs to go down one. Oh, well, it was going to go down one, but it doesn't want to come off the page, so it's not. And you still got your days of the week here, or this could be notes, days of the week, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, really, it's just about, okay, I've got this product, how am I going to use this? So this is layout number 1, using the mild liners and the colorful boxes, and I think this looks really sweet. And this, if you have the dot grid, you could actually certainly replicate, because even though you don't have the lines, you do have the dots that line up. So layout number 1. Layout number 2, I'm actually going to put down like this, and I'm going to tape this to this because I don't want it to move. And this was kind of inspired by Terry from Home with Feisty, and I will link her channel below. And some of the mild liner bled through, but that's okay. Now the reason why I want to tape this down is because I want to use my ruler, and I'm going to be drawing lines that I want to connect the 2 pages. And I'm just eyeballing it because this first line that we're drawing is basically going to set the tone for all of the other lines. And I'm just using the width of the ruler so that I don't even have to measure anything. And then line that up, and then make more lines. And I'm going to keep doing that until my whole page is covered. Now, that thing I just showed you where you use your mild liners, you certainly could do that with this. We're not going to, but I mean, again, you're just creating sections where you can use it in your planner. So let me just finish this, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm done. All right, so that's our layout so far. Now, just as a tip, the way that I measured this was I kind of just eyeballed the halfway point of here, and then I lined that up with the halfway point at the top there, and did the same with the bottom. Again, it looks even to me, and that's really all I'm concerned with. If you want to do the measurement and get exactly, you know, even halfway and whatever, cool, do it. But for me, this has worked perfectly well. And let's see how many boxes we have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're thinking, Johanna, girl, there's only 6 boxes per page, or there's 12, but if you're going to do double, you need 14. Guys, don't worry about it. I got it. So on this page, we're going to do we're going to do Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. This page is going to be Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Shouldn't have wrote that out, but that's okay. And I actually might cover that up once I get into the decorating. But the reason why this kind of reminded me of what Terry did, she did this thing, let me write on here, where she had the vertical layout. So sort of something like that. And then she had made this sort of like arrow thing with flowers. And again, check out her channel because it just, oh, it looks gorgeous. Because that was like the middle section of her vertical planner, and then it had like that. So that's what this is kind of inspiring. So where I'm getting with that is I'm going to stick some florals down in these boxes that don't go for a day, and I'll bring you back. All right, guys, now I did most of it off camera, but I did want to show you how I'm doing it. So again, because I want my lines or my boxes to be fully functional, even though they are on a slant, I'm going to use an X-Acto knife and using very light pressure, cutting it so that I can separate the overhang. Now, if I was really good, I could have just cut it straight, at least on one side, but I find this just gives me a more even look. Now, you definitely want to be careful if you haven't done this kind of thing before, because you can cut through your paper. But I can use some clear tape and fix that up, no problem. And then some of these off ones, I will just, well, one, that's certainly dangerous, just having a straight edge like that, but yeah, I'm gonna try not to cut myself on camera. And I'll cut these, and then I'll bring you back when I'm done. All right, guys, so I'm just finishing up, and I didn't like the way that I wrote my days of the week, and so I have this one because I'm going to actually use this in the next layout idea, and so I'm just cutting the word down because I didn't want it that big, and just covering up what I had written. Now, was that super fiddly? Yes. Yes, it was. And that blue is the only one that I think really does not go, but you know, that's okay. Now, you're probably like, well, this is not really functional, but if you look at the space, I mean, you'd have to work on a diagonal, but you can certainly write appointments in here, or you can put little icon stickers for things you need to remember. It's just really looking on a slant that you know, makes it a little bit different, but the actual functional space there is probably the same back space as a classic size box. So you certainly have functional. There's some things up here that you could either color, do more florals. This one, I'm actually going to look for something that says notes. Could have sworn there was something in here that says notes. So let's put noted right there. And again, we have, oh, I don't like the purple on the purple, but you get the idea. And this is the second layout. Again, it may not be your cup of tea. There's things that aren't lining up. And this I could have made line up, but I wrote there, so I needed to cover it up. I do love how there's just that strip of florals. It is very fiddly to do. And again, I cut through my paper in a couple of places. So when I do the layout on this side, I will need to be aware, and I might need to put stickers down because I did cut through my paper. But, you know, just to give you an idea that we're working with the lines, and so we still have the ability to, you know, write our lists or do our to-dos or whatever. And it sort of takes away the fact that this is a lined paper, because now what I see is diagonal and flowers. But maybe that's just me. All right, so this is layout number 2. Layout number 3 is actually going to be the easiest of the layouts, because we're going to do somewhat of a dashboard layout. Again, we want to take advantage of these lines. So since I had the ruler there anyway, we're going to just eyeball it and make a line through what looks to be not even close of the center. That's what happens when you eyeball things. And, oh, all right. Can we redeem this? I think we can redeem this. Now you might want to measure, or if you don't really care. Is that right? Yeah. Then you could just leave it as is. But if you do like I just did, hold on. All right, so what I did was I just made the boxes the same size. And let me put a line here. And we're basically trying to trick the eye that these are the same. I mean, they are the same, but because of the spacing, I mean, now you can see that they're the same, but unless you got that line on the side, it didn't look it. So we're just trying to trick the eye, saying, yeah, there's black on both sides. So, you know, you didn't make a mistake, Johanna. That's how it's supposed to be. And then halfway looks to be about here. And at least with this one, I have a line I can use. All right, so we've got sort of a dashboard layout, but not really. It's more of a vertical, but again, not really. But let's at least make these two sides even. So there's there, and there, and there. And we're just lining up our sides. And there, and there, and there. Because I just need 2 dots in order to make a straight-ish line. Because even with the ruler, it's not guaranteed that my line's going to be straight, but it's certainly going to be straighter than if I didn't use one. And all the way up, and all the way up. Line, line, and there. And then I'll put my my washi down the side. Now I like washi. I actually have quite a bit of it, but I'm not really good at laying it down. And I'm certainly not good at laying it down there and then punching it. Yeah, I've tried it a couple of times and I mangled it both times. And so I try to avoid that whenever I can. And this is one of my favorites. It is from Carpe Diem. It was gifted to me, I think, in last Christmas in the Secret Santa that we did at work. But I've looked on Amazon and they don't sell it. But I think like Joann's or Michael's does. So just look for Carpe Diem washi, and then hopefully you can find this black rose floral, because it's one of my favorites. And I mean, it kind of ties in to the black there. And then we'll do our middle line. Oh, and I made a mistake because I drew more than I should have, but again, that's okay. Now, the boxes are small. From a line perspective, it's actually smaller. I don't know if you can see it. If we go from end to end, it's a smaller box than the diagonal spread that we just did. But again, that's okay. It's still long enough that we can work around it, and it's still big enough where we can actually put some stickers down. And I do have date headers. Let me find those. Now this was gifted to me by Rena and Crystal from Lux Clever Crafts, and so we can do a black and red theme. I should get a... They're so delicate, it's hard to use my hands. But again, just to give you an idea. Now you could write it in. If you have other day headers, you can certainly use those, but these I knew I had, and I think they're pretty, and they're small enough that they can fit. Although I guess if we wanted to, can I take these back up? No, because I was thinking, well, if I wanted to, I could do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but the lines is prohibitive of that. You could do that with a dot grid, but I think that would be just a little too confusing because it is lined. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And let's see if we can find some decorative things. We've got this note in the orangish, so we can put that there. And then we're trying to stay in that family. These are actually kind of big stickers. So we can do planet right there. Because I guess depending on what stickers we're using, these can pull off more orange than red, because it's not like a true deep red, but it's not an orange either. But I think with the decorations, it can actually pull whichever way we want it to. Black and orange is not exactly my favorite color combo, but it's working. And let's put this down here. Let's see if we can find some washi for the top there. This is from the Pen and Gear. I've done a haul on this before. No, not the right colors. And not really the right colors. adventure. It's definitely too long, but we can cut that. And we'll just center the actual quote so we don't have to measure. So we'll put that at the top there. And we'll use this black. And we'll just cut off a section in between the hellos. And put that up there. And because it's cut right there, I want to put something there. And we're really just looking orange and black. And we'll do important. We'll put it like this so that we can say that this box right here is important. It does cover up that nicely. There is a cut right there. You can see that my nail can come through. I mean, I don't want to make it bigger, but I want you to see. Yeah, so we'll want to put something there as well, because you can write on it. It's just you don't want to make it any bigger. And let's do today. And we'll do it there. Because the problem if I put clear tape, then I can't write on it. Let's put a black sticker over here, and then I think we'll be done. I'm going to do that right there. Let me put this back on the discs and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so that's our video. Now, this is our layout number 1, and I really, really like how this came out. I think this is super cute. Layout number 2, I'm not a fan that I cut through my paper, but I think this actually is really functional, and I might actually recreate this in my actual Happynichi on one of my future spreads because I think that looks great. Now you could have done it where it was a chevron. I don't know that. Yeah, so you can see it at the top here, where you have it coming down that way, like a Christmas tree, versus having it go striped across like that. But I think this looks really dynamic. Again, I got my inspiration for this from Terry, and I think it's super functional, especially if you're like me, where you just do lots of lists and bullet items. Again, you've got your eye is going to be a little bit weirded out because you're moving on a diagonal, but I think it looks great. And then this last one, I guess because of the colors, it is totally giving me some Halloween vibes, and I'm not even looking at that right now, but I think this one is really functional. And if I did only have the lined Happy Note half sheet, then this is probably the layout that I would do probably more than anything, because it's quick-ish, especially if you're measuring things out versus freehanding it and then trying to fix your mistake. But also, I think it gives you lots of functional room. Plus, there is still room to decorate. So if you don't have a lot going on, you can just go to town with your stickers. But if you do, you've got lots of spaces to write things. So in the description box below, let me know which is your favorite layout number 1, layout number 2, or layout number 3. Guys, thank you so much. If you enjoy these Happynichi lined layout videos, definitely also let me know in the description box below. Again, I'm always going to do the ones in my dot grid Happynichi, but if you guys find value in this, I certainly can think of new ways to come up with layouts to hopefully give you guys some inspiration. All right, that's it for me for now, and as always, aloha.